Did you do anything different using this bye week time since you had a quarterback with 2.5 career starts? Like maybe even spend more time working with him than you normally would on those off days?
No, Kellen did a good job, I think, of letting the guys catch a mental break as well as a physical break. And we were able to get the team out of here and let them recharge, get freshened back up. It's an interesting schedule because you get used to playing usually, Thursday night, a Sunday night, a Monday night, and you play a Thursday game, so you get a little bit of mini bye somewhere along the way during the season. Obviously, you play on a short week going into it, but when your schedule's set up the way ours is, where you're just playing every traditional Sunday, it was nice to get a good little break in there.
What do you think is next for Tyler's development?
Well, I think it's a daily process. I mean, this is still a young player. The learning curve is still steep. And so every day he's learning something new. And, when you get out against NFL defenses, there's going to be different pitchers. They're going to change. People are going to show you different things. And especially with young quarterbacks, they're going to try and disguise things more than they do traditionally than other quarterbacks.
How do you think he's progressed as of late?
I think he's done a really good job. Obviously saw a lot of growth from the first start out in LA to the second start in Carolina, and I anticipate him to stay on the same course.
How have you seen Tyler's feel for the pocket improve over the course of GAs to now?
I think that was one of the really big things for him early on, playing on the scout team. When you play on that scout team, that rush is really fast. So it forces you to really speed your process up, your mental process. It forces you to speed your feet up. Now, obviously, the plays can be a little bit different at times, but we try and train our guys to treat the plays as if they're our plays. So kind of put yourself into one of our plays. It's very similar to this play so that you can train your feet and your eyes.
I'm wondering how Scott Tolzien kind of plays a role into that in terms of just individual drills and working on the footwork in those sessions.
Yeah, if you come watch our guys, I know you guys are only out there for a certain portion of practice, but Scotty does a really good job, going through the progressions of, putting the spots where they can be. You only get so many reps live, but putting the spots where they are and, going through with our feet and our eyes, making sure the timing's right.
When it comes to ball security, is there some level where you just have to kind of trust the guy, just in terms of how some people kind of keep both hands on the ball as he's navigating through? Is that there's some kind of just an innate understanding that if he's going to do a good job there, you don't have to spend a ton of time just drilling it?
Well, I think you're always spending time. It's one of the key fundamentals of the game, ball security. I mean, you talk about the number one statistic in all of football is turnover margin. So it's something that we preach. It's something that we drill every day on the practice field.
I mean, how do you seen him develop that over the course of?
Well, hopefully it's the awareness we've created for him, and then through drill structure, helping him improve his technique, and being able to point out to him and film, in certain, hey, you're loose with the ball here in the pocket. Oh, hey, here's a really good example. For example, Coach Thomas put one up from the Carolina game today in the offensive meeting as we were talking about ball security, and it was a really good rep with Tyler with two hands. He's pulling through. It's things like that. You got to emphasize it.
Understanding that progress is never linear, there's ups and downs and everything like that. Is Tyler kind of, because of everything he went through in college, you equipped well to handle that sort of highs and lows of this business?
I think so. He's a really mature guy. It's one of the things you talk about, maturity at this level, and he's been through some adversity, and all quarterbacks in our league go through adversity. Even the greatest of the great go through times where things aren't going great, and you got to stay neutral. You got to stay in the middle. You're never too high. You're never too low.
So that even applies after being thrown for 282 and
Throw for 282 because in 2 days that's not going to matter, right? We're going to line up on Sunday against the Falcons, and that's not going to matter. What's going to matter is what we do now.
What do you guys like about Mason Simpson? And obviously he's been here all year, but the opportunity is going to be coming largely. What's it out there in camp when he's getting a lot of reps, making plays?
Yeah, I think you just said it. He made plays. He's got really good quickness, really good short area quickness and speed. He can get out on cuts, and when he was presented with opportunities in camp, he made plays, and that's the bottom line. Guys that can make plays.
Is there like a benefit for a receiver, like just to be in the game, snap after snap, like, you know, help him with like route running, running the cornerback, like, does it need that help with like getting open and making plays?
Sure. I mean, obviously, there's chemistry between the quarterback and the receivers. Obviously, we're going to be playing with, you know, some different guys this week. So, you know, it's one of the things we've been working on. Obviously, Mason's been part of our active group for a while, so he's been getting those reps in practice with Tyler. And, you know, we'll have other guys have opportunities. Kevin Austin, you know, obviously, that we elevated. Kevin's been out. You know, now he gets some reps. So, creating timing, you know, it's such an anticipation game when you talk about playing the quarterback position at a high level. You got to know when guys are coming out of breaks.
Taysom, you know, he's 5 or 6 games back on the field. Maybe start to find a little bit more of a groove. I mean, that was obviously a pretty significant injury for anybody, let alone somebody who does as much as he does. So,
Yeah.
is he kind of starting to find something?
Well, I think, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, it's great to have him back. We knew it would be a big piece. And then, you know, for us, it's been an adjustment figuring out how best to use him. Obviously, like I said before, we didn't have him during training camp. So, you know, you look at the last drive of the game, we got the ball with 7.5 minutes to go in the game, and we're able to possess the ball to end the game. And he was a big part of that. So there's things that he's really helping us and is going to continue to help us moving forward.
What do you make of the Falcons pass rushers, Walker and Pierce?
Yeah, they got length, they got speed, they got quickness, they're book edge guys, you know what I mean? You got to be aware of them. We're going to have to do a really good job. And they obviously have done a really good job. You look at their sack numbers, one of the elite sack teams in the league. So that's going to be a challenge for us.
It seemed like Tyler was strong with like pretty good anticipation. Like, what goes into being a good anticipatory thrower? Like, what are the qualities and what allows someone to be good at that?
Well, I think first off, you know, you got to have vision. You got to be able to see the field, and then you got to be able to tie your feet to your eyes. And so when your feet tie to your eyes, then it's allow the ball to come out on time. Then it becomes the accuracy thing.